Game started.
Okay, razor blade. Now let's try e4 here. Okay, a Sicilian. Razor blade is from Argentina. Cool. Okay, this is like a hyper accelerated dragon. There are other lines you can play against it. There's some funny line with the queen coming out, taking with the queen here and hitting the rook. But it's complicated and I don't know it. So we'll just go into a Maraxi bind, which you can get from the normal accelerated dragon. Okay, if I play my knight here and he takes, I take. Is he threatening here? He's got two attackers and I have two defenders. No, so I can still defend with that move. At some point it's useful to play f3. Maybe here. Because the pin on this knight means that the e-pawn's really undefended. And have to be careful there's no extra pressure put on this knight. Okay, so I'm going to castle 2 to unpin the knight. So the idea, as I understand it, I've been trying to learn how to play the Maraxi bind, and the idea, I think, is you castle king side and you just centralize your rooks, and you play knight to knight to d5 at some point. But basically, you're playing to restrict your opponent's pieces, so you're not making any big pawn breaks or anything. You're just getting your pieces out to good squares and asking your opponent where he's going to put his pieces. So yeah, so I'm just going to defend all of these pawns here. I'm going to put a rook on c1. Also because this this diagonal rather, the diagonal from g7 here all the way down to a1 is potentially a problem. So the queen there is looking at the knight again. This is partly defending the knight, partly defending the pawn, and partly thinking about playing bishop to h. Bishop to h6 here. Bishop takes, queen takes. This is still defended by the rook. The knight's still defending the pawn. If I pop in here with the knight, yeah, his queen is loose. This is one of those positions where there's a tactic, right? Knight to d5 is the tactic. His queen is loose, and if he takes my queen, I take here with check. His king has to move away, so there's nothing that attacks this guy, and then I recapture the queen. So after knight to d5, his queen has to just retreat back to d8 again. Very typical tactic against the... and if he doesn't defend his queen, then you can take the queen. I don't think this is working. He gets two pieces. He gets two pieces. He gets that. He gets this.
Black resigns.
Yeah, probably not worth playing on at that point. Well, I will upload this and do a postmortem. We can talk a little bit more about that particular tactic. It's kind of interesting and very typical.